All right, we've had some kind of serious stuff happen here in the district this last week and everything, and so we have Dr. Puga here. She is going to give us some background, some information, and some actions that we can take to kind of help improve how we deal with some stuff here at Crane Middle School, stuff that you can do, that you have the power to take a hold of. Okay? So for right now, I'm going to turn things over to Dr. Puga.
Hey. Okay, so 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. If you're a 6th grader, raise your hand. Cool. If you're a 7th grader, raise your hand. If you're an 8th grader, raise your hand. Oh, look, they think they're cool. You know what I mean? They think they're cool. Just wait till next year and you got to start all over again. All over again. Okay, so listen up. So the reason I came to see you is to tell you some stuff. It's a little bit serious. Well, it's a lot serious. But I came to tell you some stuff, and I need you to pay attention. And I promise it won't be real boring the whole time, maybe a little bit, but not the whole time. I'll go as fast as I can. But here's the truth. Every 13 minutes, somebody in the United States dies by suicide. Did you know the third leading cause of death for people 10 to 14 years old is suicide? That means what? They killed themselves, right? So if I were to ask you how many people in this room know someone who has said, I wish I was dead? How many people in this room know someone who've tried to kill themselves? How many people in this room have thought it yourself? I would like for all you grown-ups to look around. It's pretty important stuff right here. Let me tell you something. You are more important, and you matter, and you are loved. And you never, ever need to consider that again. That is not an option. That is a solution to a temporary problem. You're always going to have problems. There's always going to be bad times and good times in your life, but nothing is ever as bad as it seems. So know that when you think, hey, hold up, pay attention. So when you think it's so bad that you can't take it anymore, realize that tomorrow you're not going to feel this way. 30 minutes later, you're probably not going to feel this way. So there's a lot of stuff about depression. But mostly at your age, what happens is bad things happen, or you do some bad things or some stupid things that you knew better, and you get in trouble, and you think that's like the end of it, the end of the world. Because you don't want to be in trouble. So you'd rather, hey, sister, let's turn around. Yeah, pay attention. Okay? It's real important that you listen. Because you don't want the people that you love or the people that you know or your friends to be dead. So you need to know what to do if you have a friend that talks about killing themselves. And these years that you're in right now, in your high school years, your middle school years, your high school years, everything seems like it's the end of the world. But it's not. I'm here to tell you it's not. So you need to know the warning signs. So if you know someone who says, man, I just wish I could go to sleep and not wake up. If you know someone who says, I just wish I was dead. If you know someone who says, I just don't want to do this anymore. You need to tell somebody. Or you need to ask them, are you thinking of killing yourself? And then you need to tell them, please don't do that. And be their friend and listen to them. And tell them to tell an adult. It doesn't have to be your mom. It doesn't have to be your teacher. But tell an adult that you trust. If you don't know an adult that you trust, let me tell you something, you can trust me. Okay? Promise. And I'll give you some information how you can get a hold of me. But tell somebody. If you feel like this yourself, tell somebody. It's not cool to be dead. And whatever problem you're facing will be different tomorrow, I promise. So you need to remember that. Ask the question, care enough about them to continue to talk to them and tell them that's not the way out. And then make sure you tell somebody. Act. Ask, care, tell. Okay? Make sure you remember that. What is it?
Ask, care, tell.
I need to hear it louder.
Ask, care, tell.
What are you going to ask? It's kind of hard to say, isn't it? Let's say it. Ask it. Ask me. Say it louder. A little bit louder. I thought you were the cool people. Thought you were loud. There you go. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And then you're going to care enough about them to listen. What if your friend makes you promise not to tell? What? Are you sure? That's right. Who said that? Who said that? You did? Stand up. There's enough for everybody. If I hit you in the head, I don't mean to, but I'll give you something. You got to sit down. You got to be seated. You got to be seated. You got to be seated. So what if your friend makes you promise not to tell? Hey, don't trample each other. Don't hurt each other, because we want everybody here. Okay? So what if you just think that you're worried, that you can tell that your friend is acting, what if your friend's acting sad and depressed? Okay, so what if you ask them and they go, no, I'm good. So you stop and think, well, what if I'm wrong? I mean, do you really want to go tell on somebody if they're really not going to do that? No, why? Why? Because you don't want to be wrong, right? You don't want to get them in trouble, right? You don't want them to know that you went and told some grown-up that they're thinking about killing themselves, if they're not, right? You just want to help. So what do? You still do it, right? And I got plenty of candy. I got plenty. I'm gonna pass them out. So if you missed out, you're gonna get some. So what if you go to tell and no one believes you? Because this happens. What if you go to tell, hold up, listen up. Shh. What if you go to tell an adult, my friend has been acting kind of strange lately, and I noticed there were some black marks where she's been cutting her arm. And what if the adult goes, it's nothing, they'll be okay. Then what do? Find somebody else. That's exactly right. So we're going to watch this little video. It's like 3 minutes. It's just going to be a minute about someone who had that same issue, okay? And then we'll go on with the rest. But everybody has to pay attention because I'm watching, okay? And remember, this is serious because you want to know what to do if it's your friend, okay?
My name is Lindsay. I'm going to be a junior. I just finished my sophomore year. I think that playing soccer makes me feel important. It doesn't really matter if you're best friends with the person that you're playing with. You know that you can still trust them with anything. It was my freshman year, so she was a sophomore. We were in geometry together. She used to wear short sleeve shirts all the time, and then she started wearing long sleeve shirts with turtlenecks. And then she started talking to one of my other friends, and I really didn't know what they were talking about at first. And then a couple of weeks later, she was absent, and I called her, and she didn't answer. I called her, and she didn't answer. And then she came back a week later, and she just wasn't the same. Like, she wasn't happy. She just looked so sad. And since now, because she didn't tell me directly, but now I knew what they were talking about. Because she had scars all over her chest, like all up and down her arms and all up and down her legs. And I was like, what's stopping her from just killing herself completely? So I went and I told my teacher about it. I was definitely nervous about it because I knew that if I didn't tell him about it, that she could be gone forever and everybody would lose her. It wouldn't just be me that was losing a friend. It would be her mom, her dad, everyone. She could be gone. About a week after I went up to him and asked him about it, since I hadn't seen her or whatever, because I was worried that something else had happened. And he told me that she was at a hospital, but I was really happy that she was getting help somewhere, that and there was people for her to talk to that knew what she was going through, and people that could understand it, people that could really help her. The summer coming into this year, she called me and I had no idea who it was. I'd never seen the number before, but it was a 512 number, so I answered it. And she was like, "Hey, Lindsay," and I was like, "Who is this?" And she told me who it was, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, how are you?" And she told me she was doing good and that she'd been home for a couple of months and that everything was going really good at home. So, like, it didn't only change her, but I guess that was kind of I guess it kind of put her whole family in check, not just her, because the fact that it changed at home too, it didn't just change her, it changed everyone. Especially if you yourself feel like there's something going on in your life, don't be afraid to go talk to somebody about it. If you go and talk to somebody, they're not gonna judge you, they're gonna listen and they're gonna try to help you. And if you hear somebody talking about it, and don't judge them, be the person that'll be there to help them. Don't be the person that's gonna say, "Oh, what's wrong with you? You're weird." Don't be that person, because obviously if they're thinking about doing this to themselves, they have enough people in their lives that call them the weird person. If you hear someone talking about suicide or taking their life, don't keep it a secret and don't ignore it. Take all talk of suicide seriously and take action. Tell an adult and get help for a friend. My friend is alive because I reached out to help. Call 1-800-273-TALK or 1-800-273-8255 for the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline.
So it's so important that you tell. And remember this, kids your age can be mean, right? Don't be making fun of people. Don't make fun of other kids. You know why? Usually the people who are making fun of other people are because they're trying to be cool. It is not cool to be mean. And you know why? Because when people are mean to you, it doesn't make you feel very good. So when you see people being mean, remember, don't be the one laughing along with them. Tell them, don't be mean. That's not cool. It's not. Because sometimes you're going to hurt someone's feelings enough that they die. And when you're just making fun of somebody, you're not really making fun of them so they'll die. You're making fun of them so you can be cool in front of your friends. It's not cool. Don't be mean. So what if you keep the promise? What happens if you keep the promise? If you keep the promise, good stuff happens. And if your friend still dies, it's not your fault. Okay? Remember that. But if you keep the promise to not tell somebody, and then your friend dies, what good is the promise to someone who's dead? That's not a good promise, right? So when someone makes you promise not to tell anyways. Because that's what we learned, right? What did we learn? Ask and tell somebody. The reason that I'm here telling you this today is because my daughter is dead. Okay? I got 4 kids. They're beautiful. I'm a good mom. But my daughter died.
So I want to make sure that your mom doesn't have to go through what I go through. I want to make sure that your mom doesn't wake up every day so sad because you're not here. Because that's what would happen. Your parents would never be better off without you. Your friends wouldn't be better off without you. Your family wouldn't be better off without you. You matter. You're important. You have value. My daughter's beautiful. She was a sophomore homecoming queen. She was a varsity basketball player and soccer player all 4 years of high school. She was a starter. She had all kinds of stuff going for her. But somehow there was a sadness and a hopelessness in her. And I'm here to tell you, there's no such thing as being hopeless. Because we care about you. There's always hope. No matter how bad you feel, there's always hope. And tomorrow, everything's going to be different and everything's going to be better. I promise you. Please listen to me. People love you. Remember how many people raised their hand when I said, how many people here have thought about it? Raise your hand again. How many people here know somebody who's thought about it? Raise your hand again. Quit thinking about it. Please. For me. And for your mom. Don't think about that anymore. It will not make anything better, I promise you. You are amazing kids. I see beautiful kids out there, every one of you. I see kids with good hearts and sweetness in them. Please, think about that. My daughter was a self-taught musician. She taught herself to play the drums. She taught herself to play the guitar. She taught herself to play the bass guitar. She was cool. She wrote her own songs. I got some CDs up here. She was cool. And so I'm going to let you see a video that I made that I played at her funeral because she was dead. Because she hung herself. It's a bad thing. You don't want to think about that anymore. Okay? So I made this video at her funeral. And it's a video of her life. It's just pictures of her. But the song you hear is her. She played the instruments. She sings the song. She recorded it on my laptop in the closet. And I just want you to realize that you are loved and you're cared about. And I'm going to let you hear it, and we'll talk a little bit more.
One, two, three, four. I gave you everything, gave you the world. I followed through and I kept my word, but you so hard I can't hear anything else but my own breath. Then you cross my mind. What good years, what beautiful times. I was yours, but you were mine. I told the truth, and you told the lie. The lie. The lie.
So what if one of her friends would have told? What if just one of her friends would have called me and said, I'm worried about Hannah and I think she's going to do something? If one friend would have told somebody she could be here. So you got to tell. And you got to not be mean. And not make fun of people. Because nobody wants to feel bad. Okay? All of you young people, other young people, y'all should be a brotherhood and a sisterhood. Okay? You got to take care of each other. Let me tell you something about real life. Adults are going to tell you all you got to do is work hard and get an education. And you can be anything you want to be. That's not true. Some opportunities will come your way and some opportunities will not. All you have to do is do the best that you can do. And that is your best. And that makes the best you. You just be you. No one else on this planet can be you except you. So you have value. It doesn't matter what kind of clothes you have. It doesn't matter who's your friend. It doesn't matter who your parents are. It doesn't even matter if you have parents. No one else on this planet can be you but you. So you just do your best. And that's the best. That's good. That's good enough. You don't have to do anything else but that. You have value. This is a 1-800 number to the Lifeline. You can call it anytime. They don't tell your parents. You can call that number anytime and someone can talk to you if you don't want anybody to know. Thanks for listening to me. Peace, love, shot of deuces. You guys go. Be good kids. Be good adults. Don't be mean. Love each other. Take care of each other. Okay? You got it? What'd you learn? Ask, care, and tell.
1, 2,
Right?
3.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
I gave you everything, gave you the world. I followed through and I kept my word, but you threw it all away. blushing so hard I can't hear anything else but my own breath. Then you cross my mind. What good years, what beautiful times. I was yours, but you were mine. I told the truth, and you told the lie. The lie. The lie.
Kim Puga visited Crane High School to speak about suicide prevention. She tells CBS 7 it is important to educate students as well as faculty about suicide so they can see the signs before it's too late. She explains that suicide is the second leading cause of death for ages 15 to 24, and it's the third leading cause of death for ages 10 to 14. Dr. Puga lost her own daughter to suicide in 2012, and it is her mission to make sure this doesn't happen again.
We have to do something. We can't have any more kids dying. We can't have any more moms waking up every day like me. So I'm on a mission to save all these kids.
Her goal is to see that all schools require suicide prevention courses to raise awareness and increase education about the topic.